Hello everyone. In the presentation, I'm going to share some observations I did last week in MoMA with you, and also some works I have did so far for the Bridge 2 project. In the MoMA, we are required to find an artwork that attracted us, and another artwork that I didn't understand. The work I chose that attracted me is the water lilies from Monet. The first thing I noticed about this painting is its huge scale. When I walked into the display room, I was shocked that such a huge room can only contain 2 water lilies, and I could only see a part of the painting while just standing in front of it. Also, its composition is quite long and narrow, so in order to appreciate the whole work, I had to turn my head and scan it. The second figure in my observation is that the brushstroke is extremely rough, so that every figures in the painting do not have a clear outline, which makes them quite hard to be recognized. But at the same time, because of it, the painting is very decorational and unified. The tone of the painting is very bright and vivid. Monet used quite bright color to depict the figure and lower the value contrast intentionally, which enable viewers to pay more attention on the color instead of figuring out what is the painting. Based on the observation I did, I also came up with 3 questions. The first question is that why Monet reduced the value contrast so much for this painting? I tried to remove the hue of the color in the Photoshop, and I noticed that the painting becomes even flatter and harder to recognize the subject matter. Why Monet did that? My second question is that why Monet chose such a huge and long composition for his painting? Most of the paintings he had painted in his life were in portable size, but why only for the water lily series he used such an unusual size? My third question is about the history of Monet. Just looking at the Monet's work in the order of time, I noticed that the figure in his painting become increasingly unclear. The brushstroke is also become more and more rough. Basically, the painting is become more and more two-dimensional. Why? The second painting, which is the one that I didn't understand, is painted by a Russian artist whose name is Max Ennis. Although I could not totally understand the painting, I was still attracted by it. This oil painting was quite eye-catching among the paintings around it because of its strong contrast on both color and line. The painter used a large area of black and dull yellow as the background, which is warm and dark in the value. But for increasing the contrast, when he depicts the flower, he used very bright and cold color, bright blue and white. Besides, the organic and chaotic line of the figure creates a strong contrast on line with a clear and simple line of the background. Besides the contrast, the artist also used a horizontal composition. With the edge of the black area and the yellow area, the painting is divided into 2 parts, with one clean and high-value part and a dark enriched part. The figure provided enriched detail, and the texture of the line create a sense of movement and rhythm. I also have some questions about this painting. Firstly, why the figure of the painting is kind of blurry and the form of the body is distorted? What does the artist trying to express through this painting? Secondly, why the painter used such a large area of black? What feeling does it create with other colors in the painting? Finally, just looking at the central part, there's some white organic shapes on the figure. What functions does these white dots in the central part have? Nextly, I'm going to talk about the work I've done for the project 2. They are the 2 paintings I finished for the first day. For the work in the left side, I finished it based on the rule that only using short brush stroke. I researched about how Impressionists use the color. One of the features of Impressionism is that painters would use pure color to print out canvas directly and let them mix together visually when being viewed. so I also adapt this method and try to use it in my work. For the second drawing, I try to use only one line to finish the whole drawing, and also learn how the line was used in the next drawing, and try to simulate it in my work. For the second day, the main differences between the two works is about the materials I used. Seeing some of the sketches that are created by Asian masters, some of them are painted with ink. But instead of using the ink, I used watercolor, because I think the watercolor is lighter and more transparent, so it can create a stronger difference of the value. If I use the watercolor for my work, I think the variety of the value in my work will be more enriched. Charcoal is also a very popular material for traditional painters to do their sketches. It can easily create lines in different value, thickness, and texture, so I choose the charcoal to do my second work. For the work in the left side, I only use the horizontal lines to cover the dark area, and use this method to create the form of the cat. Also, I considered much about the composition. I basically used a triangular composition with the tail of the cat and two edges of the shadow, and the action of the cat has a lift tendency, which gives the work some movement. I focused more about how I produce this work for the second work. I tried to draw the cat when the cat is moving, and once the cat moved, I start over on the same page. It was hard for me to draw enough lines that can indicate a cat at first, and I failed for several times. But finally I got a recognizable work, and the mark not only depict the cat in the movement, but the cat in a period of time. That's all of my presentation. Thanks for watching and listening.